Hello, everyone. Welcome to NuPath Live. My name is Dan Harrison. I'm your host, and this is the time where we gather each week to talk to members of our community, our people we support, their families. Last week, I'm just going to get right into it. Last week, I read a brief Facebook post that was submitted by a woman that we're going to talk to today. She's a mother, and I happened to meet her during the summer when we had one of our staff celebrations. And if you remember the infamous dunk tank that members of our community were dunked in, and it was a Friday, and they had been watching NuPath Live the day after it was broadcast, and we'd been promoting this event, and we invited families to come, and so this mother had come with her daughter Sophia, who is back at the Martin Center. We're going to talk to her in a minute, but I just wanted to use this as a quick opportunity to say that the story of this young lady that is back at the Martin Center, she's got some needs and requires some intensive staffing, and we were finally able to get her back after 15 months. She was out of program because of the pandemic. And I know that we still have members of our community that are out there that have not yet made it back. And we regret that. If we had it our way, we'd have our entire family reunited today. But until we are able to find a magic solution and hire 50 additional staff that are qualified and ready to go, we are going to have to do this as we're able to. And if you're out there, and I know there's some frustration, and I feel terrible about it. I wish we had a solution to this. We are trying all kinds of avenues to try to recruit people. We recruitment bonuses that are $1,000 for referral, sign-on bonuses. And there's nobody that's as frustrated as we are in not being able to get the staff that we need. But we cannot have people back, and depending on what the person's needs are, until we have staff in place. Otherwise, we jeopardize the health and safety of everyone. And so if you're out there and you're still waiting, I am so sorry that is the case. And I know that our team is working diligently on trying to find creative ways to spread our staff as far as we can, but keeping an eye to quality that people are depending upon. And that was the experience of this family that we're going to talk to, who waited 15 months. But without any more introduction, I am looking forward to my next guest. So why don't we bring them on? This is Debra DellaCamera and Jackie Seward, her friend, lifetime friend, who also works with her daughter Sophia. Let's say hi to them now. Welcome to NuPath Live.
Thank you.
Now, we're not live exactly today because we're pre-recording this due to some scheduling conflicts, and we'll be airing this tomorrow afternoon at a regular time slot. You guys have been with NuPath, well, I should say you, Debra, the mother of Sophia, who attends one of our programs and has been with us for a while now. But I had the privilege of meeting the two of you back in the summer when we were on our high streak. And I became acquainted with you because, Debra, you told me in the parking lot, just in front of the dunk tank, that you and Sophia had been watching NuPath Live on a Friday morning and heard this event was going on for staff, and you decided to pack up in your car and head over. Is that right?
Yes.
And so I hadn't met Sophia before. I had a chance to meet her, and I was so tickled that a family member was there based on NuPath Live, and that you had heard about it and come right over. And then my internal team, Jackie, not to leave you out in this, will remember you because, and you just a moment ago when I asked you if you remembered, you said you didn't really. I sat next to you, and you explained who you were, and I said, well, you don't watch NuPath Live, and you said you sometimes did, and I asked you what you thought, and you said, well, I don't like I could do without all the data.
No, I said that.
Oh, did you say that?
I said that.
What did you did?
No, Jackie came along that day because I have a bad back and I haven't been able to pick up Sophia, so Jackie graciously
it just goes to show how memory can deceive us. I didn't know it was Debra. I thought it was Jackie that had said that. But I remember coming back in and I said, maybe it's time to back off on some of the data, guys. So we do listen to our people. Debra, tell us the story about how NuPath came into your lives and what your experience has been. Maybe briefly, leading up to the pandemic, and then some of the frustrations and struggles you found when you were trying to get Sophia back, and then finally the positive conclusion to the story of this chapter anyway, of Sophia finding herself over at the Martin Center and working with Immaculate and some of the staff over there. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Well, my association with NuPath actually predates Sophia's enrollment there, because I was the listing agent for the house that you bought on Old Conant Circle in Lincoln.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know at
Now
the
it's
time when I was first contacted James Sannon and about Sophia transitioning. But then he was mentioning some of the houses they have, and I said, oh, I sold that to you. You had your own agent in between. But anyway, so Perkins, Sophia had attended Perkins, and they have a whole transition team. And they did an excellent job in preparing information and helping train the NuPath staff. However, NuPath never was suggested by them. I found you on my own, just Googling around, because we were not happy with the places they were sending us to. So I met with James, and because Sophia originally was at New Boston Street. And we had a big meeting with Jane Elder and Sharon and people from whatever the department is.
yeah, DDS probably. Yeah, yep.
And Perkins people. And we brought Sophia in for an interview, and she did very well. I had prepped her quite a bit, so she was very quiet and paid attention, and it was nice. But James explained to me that they didn't have anybody at New Boston in a wheelchair, but they liked Sophia and accepted her, so it was very pleasant for us. She's now at the New Boston Street, which has been revamped, and we feel it's got nice open spaces. And Sophia has a one-on-one at New Boston Street with Julie, wonderful. We had a wonderful relationship, and now she's with Immaculate, and that's worked out nicely.
And she's at the Martin Center.
Yes.
Right, with where Elder is. Yeah. And since Elder took over there, there's been some really significant changes. And I think, our population has changed a bit over there too, because some of the folks that were probably really more involved, or maybe did come back after the pandemic, or they're still trying to get back. But so you were able to get her back after what was the pandemic like for you and your family with her being home? And I mean, was it pretty bad? Just not having anything for her to do. Was she? You look like you're probably really engaged with your daughter's life. I'm sure you kept her busy, but what was that like?
Well, it was difficult, but we would go walking with friends, and we live near the Cambridge Reservoir over here in Lincoln. So it's very handy, very nice, peaceful place to go for a walk. You could take her in the stroller, or we have an electric golf cart, and we go out in it. So a lot of outdoor activities. We would go to our friends' yards and have campfires at night, or they come here, we have fires. And then in the summer, we have a pool, so friends would join us here. And we did hire a woman who took Sophia to playgrounds and whatnot, very energetic, strong woman with 4 of her own children. So it was difficult, a long 15 months, but we managed.
And what was it like when she made the transition over there to the Martin Center, when she went back? Were you worried that maybe she wouldn't be happy? Because she'd let you know if she didn't like it, if she didn't want to go back, I'm sure. What was that like for you? Were you worried when you dropped her off, or how did you make
concerned, but Sophia transitions very well. She's been in 5 different school environments, collaboratives, Boston College Campus School. She had a special needs preschool when she was 3 to 5. And so she's always transitioned well. She's very sociable. She enjoys people. And Jackie's parents used to take care of Sophia. My parents did when she was very small. And then my father had a stroke and they couldn't. So Jackie's parents would take her so that I could work.
They loved her. They had her for a couple of years, and she put so much joy in their life. It was wonderful.
Oh, and that's how you kind of got connected, maybe,
No,
to
we've been friends
Sophia?
for over 50 years.
A long time.
Yeah. It's shocking when you start to think how much time has gone by for anything, whether your friendships or how long you work someplace or been in
Yes.
your career. It's really try not to think about it. So I know, but so a long time you've been friends, and your parents took care of her. And so now, what's your role, Jackie? Are you just a friend, supporter, champion, advocate, all the above? What do you
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yes, all of the above. No, I'm just a friend that can be counted on.
And do you I suppose you would be the one to listen to the tears or the anger from Deborah if she wasn't happy with something. I bet she could share her opinion with you if
Oh, I'm very shy.
Yes,
she chose.
she's not shy about that at all.
No, she doesn't strike me as any kind of a blushing, wallflower. It seems that she's probably just needs you're probably just to vent to have you as support. And it was great that you were there that day. We're going to be talking to Immaculate a little bit later today. And now tell me about Immaculate. Elder says that you love her and that she's worked well with Sophia.
I've actually never met her. My husband has, Mark has met her. It's a delightful person. But the way Sophia comes home, neat, clean, well kept, her dishes washed out, her backpack packed back up, and the notes, the careful notes, the information we get daily from Immaculate, it just gives us a really good feeling that she's taken very well care of.
Isn't that such a good reminder? There's a story about another a woman that I worked with years ago, but her sister used to say, I can always tell when Nancy is working with my sister because she comes home with clean glasses. She comes, her face clean, her clothes clean, and it just shows a kind of dignity. If it's somebody you love. When my mother was in assisted living and then at the end in hospice, and I'd go like I'd be a mad dog when I'd see the way that she was left to, just like who lets another human being go home with food on their face. It's just so I'm always so happy. And you described the word you used. I don't have the note that the Facebook post that we showed last week in front of me, but I remember you used the word exuberant.
Yeah.
And that's a great word. That's like a $3 word that many people use, or maybe a $10 word. I don't know what it is, but exuberant. That just describes a particular level of joy and just bold happiness, I think. And I just I appreciated that you went to that level, that saying that there was exuberance to be felt. Jackie, I feel like you haven't had a chance to really, share. What would you like to say on your debut to NuPath Live? Is there something, some nugget of wisdom that you've been waiting for your opportunity to share with us? Tell us a little story about Sophia, or this is your chance to tell a little story about Deborah.
No, I just wanted to say that Deborah's always spoken highly about NuPath, and I know that Sophia, you mentioned NuPath to her, and she smiles and she's very excited. And to have the opportunity to go with them last summer to the food festival it was like a spur of the moment thing. Deborah called, can you make it? Can we go in an hour? So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'd love to see what's going on. And just the atmosphere and all the people, the staff were just wonderful. I felt like we were like very special guests. It was really nice.
Well, it was that's NuPath. We have we're a certain size, and people know that I'm not interested in growing in increasing the number of people served, even the size of our operational budget, because I'm very much about wanting to make sure that what we've got, we're doing the best that we possibly can. And I see a lot of organizations that grow too quickly, and then they lose control over what's happening in their programs. And I think most of us, the people that are in my circle, even at the highest levels we all are in this field because we want to make a difference and because we care about people with disabilities. And my past is that I used to have so much more direct contact. I always say mothers, it's fathers too, more and more, but but it usually was the mother that was the one that was the primary contact, that was doing the advocacy work, and was constantly. I was constantly in touch. I still have many of those mothers' cell phones in my phone, and it's not that unusual that one would call me once in a while if there was a problem. But as the years have gone on, my role has changed and evolved, and so nice to know I have good people like Elder and Immaculate at the Martin Center that are to make you guys happy, because our first priority is Sophia, and our second priority is her family. And Jackie, I'm sure that you. And as we close, and I want to thank you both very much for your time. We will again have our annual walk the walk, and I know, Deborah, I know you and Mark have been with Sophia. Maybe did you attend one, or was it two? I think maybe
Just one.
just the one before the
First year
pandemic.
that she was at NuPath, and then
And so now that I know that you sold us the house, I know that Elder can count on you for a big donation. But your presence there was great. And this year listen to me, this year, maybe that's wishful thinking. I hope we're able to get to it this year. We were planning to do it last October. We'll see if we can do that. But whenever we do have it, Jackie, I expect to see you there too.
I would love it.
And it's a good time. You take what you saw that day, the dunk tank, multiply it by about 10. We have a huge tent in the back, and this place is just hopping, and we just walk locally, but it's just such a feeling, this good spirit of goodwill and community, and oh my God, those days seem so long ago. But we'll get them back, and we'll look forward to seeing you and your whole family there, Deborah, and just appreciate you for taking the time to write that Facebook post. It meant so much to us, and as I said, Brett's very good about sharing that sort of thing with me, and I always try to pass that along to the team, because they're the ones that are doing the hard work, and I've got so much respect and appreciation for how they improve lives every day. So thanks, guys, for being here. It wasn't too bad, was it?
No, thank you.
You guys were terrific. And what I didn't say, what wasn't recorded, is one of the first things I said to you when it came in. I said, "I'm so glad you still have your Christmas tree up, so I don't feel guilty."
we don't take it down usually till Valentine's Day. It's a fake one, so.
Right. Well, I mean, at least you got the 12 days of Christmas. I mean, everybody knows about those, so that gives you a little time. But yeah, it's too much work to put up if you're gonna rip it down, the day after Christmas. But anyway, sometimes you have a real tree. I guess that's what you have to do. Well, I'm sorry we missed your husband, Mark. Maybe we'll talk to him sometime.
I just want to give him some credit. He does the tree. He puts it up. He puts the decorations and the lights on, and also he's very involved in Sophia's life. He helps get her ready every day, sits with her and waits for the van, takes her out to the van, which we never know if it's going to arrive at 8:25 or 8:55. So he's very involved.
That's great. It's nice to hear that. Hats off to dads. Dads are great too. I should start talking about dads more than moms. We'll have him on the next time then. Deborah, Jackie, thank you both so much for taking the time to join us at NuPath Live today, and I look forward to speaking with you again sometime soon.
Okay, same here.
Thank you.
All
Good
right.
to see you.
Bye-bye, guys. Thanks again.
Bye.
So that was nice to talk to Deborah and Jackie about Sophia, and now we're going to go and we're going to speak with Immaculate Nalubega. I don't know if I got her name right, but let's bring Immaculate up. Hi, Immaculate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Dan. How are you doing?
Now, you and I haven't really had a chance to talk before, but in the short time that we were getting ready to record this, I found so many interesting things about you. I asked you where you were from, what African country. You said Uganda. That's in East Africa. I was born and raised in Sierra Leone, West Africa. My parents are missionaries, and you were telling me. I mentioned, of course, the most famous or infamous name from Uganda, Idi Amin, who was a dictator and ruled some decades, well, I think 30 years or something, 35 years maybe, the longest ruling dictator, I think, in the continent of Africa or thereabouts. And you said it was part of your generation. I don't want to go too much down that path, but I love it when we get to know a little bit more about some of our African employees and the countries that they're from, because they're all so different. And you lived a lot of that experience. It was we concluded that he was a bad man and didn't do a lot of good for your country. How long have you been in the States, Immaculate?
I came in 2003.
Your English is wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Do you still do you still have family in Uganda?
Yes, I do have brothers and sisters.
How often do you go back? Are you able to get back?
I go back. I'm not. I had planned to go back, but the pandemic. I was last there in 2019. I was almost caught up because I arrived at the airport on January 14th, and I found so many Chinese. I told my cousin who picked me up, I think they are having a workshop or they are being picked up from the hotel. Little did I know that the pandemic was just getting worse. So,
Oh.
yeah, I was almost closed out.
And of course, the Chinese had quite a big influence there, didn't they? In Uganda, back in the day, they were
Yes,
merchant class and
business.
business owners, and
Yeah, they have penetrated the Ugandan system. They have businesses. They are building roads. So
yeah, they really have. Well, that's not why we're here to talk to you, Immaculate. We're here to talk to you because you became a little bit of a superstar when we received a word it was a Facebook post from Debra DellaCamera, that is Sophia's mother, who wrote about how happy she was with Sophia's services at NuPath. And I just want to read quickly the last part of it. Her mother writes, she is exuberant. When she leaves the house in the morning, she's exuberant to attend and arrives home very happy after being well cared for and engaged. Thanks to all. Hats off to all. And when she says all, she's talking about one person, and that is you. Immaculate.
Oh my God. We try our best. It's not only myself, it's a team. We work as a team, and things work out so smoothly, and we're able to really take care of her. We are so careful with her, and we make sure that everything goes right. Especially this time of the pandemic, we want to be so careful with her care.
Well, it brings me a lot of joy to hear good reports like that about staff who work for NuPath, and you're very generous too. And I know it's a team effort. I'm not discounting that. I appreciate you sharing the praise with others. But her mother mentioned, and you'll see if you watch the interview later, that she talked about the things that, even though she says she's never met you, Sophia's mother, she says that every day she comes home and her backpack is neatly packed, her lunch Tupperware dishes are cleaned out and beautifully packed again, that she's always clean and nicely put together, and that just demonstrates such a level of care. And you can tell so much about somebody that's been, that's being well cared for, and you just can never discount those little actions that mean a lot. So I'm sure you've got some responsibility for that.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful for the comments, but of course, the way we are brought up, that's the way I think the way we are brought up and the way we are trained. That's what makes it to be like that. So
Elder told me that he had hired you to work for NuPath some years ago, and then you went back to school. Is that right?
I was at school doing the Associates in Developmental Disabilities, and I chose NuPath 147 Boston Street to do my internship, and I found Elder, and Elder welcomed me very well. Little did I know that I would bump into him again. He was so good, and I really commend his help. And here we are together again.
Well, Elder is beloved by many. It's a common theme whenever I talk to somebody that's had the good fortune of working directly with Elder, they always have so much to say to praise him. And likewise, he knew what he was doing when he hired you to work directly with Sophia, apparently, because you've really you've hit it off. I think when I was talking to Elder about it, I said, she's not going anywhere, is she? we have to make sure that we hold on to our good people. You know, this staffing crisis is just hurting us so
Yes,
much.
it's going
How
on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know the staffing problem. It is going on everywhere.
And you know what I mentioned earlier, that there are families that don't have their kids back with us yet, and even some that watch this broadcast that have expressed, you know, publicly frustration around not being able to get their child back, and so much of that is related to the fact that we cannot hire quality staff. There just are not people looking for work in this field, right? At least not at this time. Do you have a lot of short staff? Are you short staffed over at the Martin Center?
Although we are short-staffed, but we can work things around and everything gets done. But of course, short staffing is everywhere. But we figure out, and uh, as I said, teamwork is what is most important, and we plan according to the people we have and find ourselves or done everything the way it is supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very positive outlook. Of course, maybe that teamwork wouldn't work so well if we had another 5 or 10 people that had to be added into the mix. This is the delicate balance, because you have a certain number of staff, and then you have to anticipate that there'll be staff that maybe, you know, have to be out sick. Maybe they'll be exposed to COVID and have to quarantine. You know, maybe they'll have a family member or loved one that is ill. Or some other emergency will happen. And so what do you do when those people are out and you have to really pull together? And they're just, you know,
plan B,
plan B. You mentioned that you hadn't, you don't always watch NuPath Live, but I'm wondering whether or not you're going to watch this episode. It'll air at 3 o'clock on Thursday. And then you can always watch it on our YouTube channel. And I was teasing you earlier that maybe you should, you know, invite all your family members over to, you know, watch your time on the big screen as a superstar.
I will try to.
You'll have to watch yourself. You know what? You strike me as being a very modest and humble person, Immaculate. I would say that you're probably not used to getting a lot of public praise and compliment, but.
I do. Even at church, I used to serve as a treasurer, so at my church community and my choir, so I get some praises.
You get some. I'm sure you do. Do you have a lovely voice? I bet you do.
I sing in a choir.
Yeah.
I sing.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to hear that sometime. I bet that's beautiful. Well, you're terrific, Immaculate Nalubega, and we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. I hope it wasn't too awful, was it?
It wasn't. It was. I just have to be ready for it. Of course, I don't know the questions, but of course, I know the answers.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I don't ask too many tough questions. It's just a chance for people to kind of see your face and get to know you and kind of, you know, piece together all the different pieces that are you know, that when we talked about Sophia as being just one person among the many men and women that we serve each day, and just, you know, looking a little bit behind and hear a little bit more about the story. And you're the face of what's making this work and the team over at the Martin Center, as you point out. And we're just so lucky to have you. We want to hold on to you, as we do all of our good staff, Immaculate, and we don't want you to go anywhere. So we hope that you'll be with us for a very long time to come in the future.
Oh, thank you so much. At this age, no, I'm not moving anywhere. And thank you so much for all you do for NuPath. Yeah, so
yeah. Well, that's kind of you. Very gracious to say. I've enjoyed our talk, and I would love to see you again sometime and continue our conversation about our respective African nations and you know, just hear about. We were talking about that before we went live. So Anyway, Immaculate, thank you so much for
Thank you so
doing
much.
this
Thank
today.
you.
It was a pleasure to
Like,
talk to you.
pleasure
take care.
talking to you. Thank you.
All right, everyone. That's another episode. I really enjoyed it. And to our families out there, please be patient if you're waiting for services. We'll get it right as soon as we can. All right, everybody, take care. We got this. Bye.